Hi, my name is Kevin Wince with HealthMark, and we're going to go over the basic principles behind the new trend in fitness, which is whole body vibration. Now, a lot of machines are out there in the industry currently, and we know that whole body vibration is good for strengthening and toning. But what we're going to focus on here is taking those theories of whole body vibration and applying them to sport-specific regimens, and basically combining the principles of whole body vibration with isometric exercises as well as plyometric exercises. Now, the top of the line whole body vibration machines, what they tend to do is try to produce more of a linear vibration, a more vertical up and down motion, as opposed to residential type machines. And when I say that, it's from a standard of physics, from a standpoint of physics, it's really impossible to get a true vertical vibration machine, one that simply goes up and down. Just by the nature of the engineering behind these machines, anything that has a motor is going to have some sideways motion to it or sideways vibration. And the sideways vibration, for one thing, doesn't give you the same benefit directly against the muscle as vertical movement does, but also more than necessary sideways vibration can be potentially harmful, just because the joints, the tendons, and the ligaments are not meant to move in that direction. Now, the theory behind whole body vibration is the fact that when you apply vibration stimulation to a muscle, you get rapid contraction and expansion of the muscle group. And that reflex action is called tonic reflex vibration. So using that principle, we can speed up the contraction rate of muscles, which ultimately works on the fast twitch muscle fibers. So, for example, as the European Olympic athletes have been using for years, fast twitch muscle fibers are the ones that come into play when you're talking about, for example, sprints as opposed to running marathons. Fast twitch muscle fibers come into play when you're talking about sports actions that require increased reflex action. Or even if you're not an athlete, for example, you're an elderly person, as your reflex goes, then you have a tendency to lose your balance and your gait. And once you lose your balance and your gait, then you can end up more easily falling. And so those type of things are beneficial for your average person, your average standpoint. Also, whole body vibration is good in the form of a more of a passive type of exercise. For whatever reason, if you can't or are not allowed to do weight-bearing exercises and you want to prevent muscle atrophy, then whole body vibration can be used as a passive form of exercise. You don't have to load physical weights onto the muscles, but simply by standing on a vibration machine or sitting with your feet on a vibration machine, you can get the reflex action that's required to keep the muscles healthy. And from a circulation standpoint, that also comes into play in preventing or helping to prevent fluid buildup in the lower extremities, such as edema, or even if you have venous pooling in your legs from spider and varicose veins. And from a rehab standpoint, if you have a tendency to develop lactic acid after heavy workouts. And basically the way that that works is whether it's lymphatic fluid or it's lactic acid, you need the contraction of the muscles to squeeze the fluid from the lower extremities up the body to the chest cavity, where it can leave the body through and it goes to the capillary system, as opposed to your blood, which has the heart as a pump to get that fluid out. And even on its own, the standard body will only remove about a pint of lymphatic fluid in a 24-hour period. So you can see, whereas the muscle contractions and expansion will actually help to squeeze that fluid up and out. Now, with these machines, which are vertical vibration machines, they're very close to pure vertical vibration. They're based on the principle of what's called hypergravity, or what used to be called increased gravity. And they primarily came heavily into play through some research studies done by NASA. And it's based on the principle of gravitational pull. And in space, the astronauts are in a zero gravity environment. And here on Earth, when you start to talk about G's and G force, on Earth with the gravitational pull is equal to 1G. So in space at 0 G's, there's no force pulling downward on the body, which causes the muscles to atrophy because there's no force applied to the muscle. So NASA started working with the space cycle in an attempt to see if they could increase gravity in a controlled environment and then have the body work against that artificially increased gravity if it would apply the same type of stress to the muscle as exercising done on Earth in a weight-bearing atmosphere. And so the theory behind the principle is that if, for example, here on Earth at 1G, a 200-pound man is squatting with 200 pounds of weight across the shoulders, then by simply applying increased artificial gravity and creating a situation of 2 G's, that same 200-pound man could stand on top of a vibrating platform with no weight across, but with 2 G's he's basically doubled his own body weight, and he's now using his own body weight for the weight as opposed to the weight that's across his shoulders. And the way that they measured this was by testing and sampling the forces placed upon the foot in both applications. And what they surmised from this was that in fact the forces placed on the foot were identical between the two circumstances, but the electrical activity within the muscle belly itself was greater in the case of the artificially increased gravity. So that's what we have when people talk about hypergravity. And that's what these two machines here both do. By applying a vertical oscillation in an attempt to increase gravity, the gravitational forces, and it's the same type of thing that you feel, for example, when you're on an elevator. When you're on an elevator and sitting still, the moment the elevator starts to rise, your body feels heavier. And when the elevator comes down, then you have that sense of weightlessness. It's the same thing in a roller coaster. As the roller coaster is slowly going up in the air, your body feels heavier, and when the roller coaster goes down, you feel that sense of weightlessness as the elevator starts to drop. So in this case, it's not just about understanding the principles behind whole body vibration, as much as it is trying to come up with a way, a useful application for these principles. Now, with a regular vibration machine that's not necessarily moving up and down, but just vibrating, we typically use isometric contraction movements. Basically to where you'll, for example, if you take a squat, you just hold a mid-range position and then let the vibration shake the muscles to the point to where you're applying the force to the isometric contraction, which is your body weight. The machine is doing all the work to contract and expand the muscles rapidly, therefore giving you a workout. When you add in the equation of increased gravity, and by the way, measuring these devices in the terms of G's to determine the effect or how much workout you're getting is not really suitable, because if you take into regards the fact that a 200-pound person on one of these machines, the force that they're going to feel is not going to be the same force felt by a 150-pound person. So you can't equate directly across the board the workload. So it's important to just understand the workout principles in applying plyometrics and isometrics to these machines. So with the vertical vibration, by nature, what you're getting is you're using an isometric contraction, but the fact that the machine is going up and down in order to create a power movement, you're also getting a plyometric movement at the same time. And so it's something that I like to call Plisometric. It's a combination of isometrics and plyometrics.